Oh, hey, how you doing? It's Clayton here from BartonBrosStudios.com and HowToDrawComics.net, and welcome to today's very special stream. In the house, I've got Corey Barton, the other half of the Barton Bros Studios duo, creator of KOZOR, Descent into Madness. We got a link to that in the description below. You should check it out if you enjoy dark fantasy, medieval horror, etc., etc. We've also got Jose Garcia on the
Hello, guys.
phone.
How are you?
Very, very well, thank you, my friend. And today, hopefully, I've asked Jose really, really kindly for you guys. We're going to get to see him draw live. Would
Yes.
that going to be possible? Oh, beautiful, man! I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait.
I can share my screen whenever you like.
Heck yeah, man. That'll be great. Well, let's warm up a little bit first. I don't want to put you to work straight away. So also, on top of that, I should let you guys know that we are both streaming to the How to Draw Comics channel, since Jose is going to be drawing for us today, and also the Barton Bros Studios channel, which we're also building. But along with all the other places that we're broadcasting on Facebook, we're hopefully going to get a fair bit of reach for Jose here, because he's not only an amazing artist. That's not the only reason we've invited him here today. We also want to showcase his comic book campaign on Indiegogo. Lumina Vhox, is that how I pronounce it? I'm assuming that's
yeah, man. That's correct.
There we go. And here it is. We're going to go back to this and have a look at it later on, but I want to just give you guys a little bit of a taster for what you can expect. It's a beautiful looking book. This is what Jose does. This is the kind of work he creates. It's very, very professional. He's got the one thing I love about Jose. He's got a very honed style that he has clearly refined and developed over the years. And I'm guessing he's like the rest of us artists. He's still finding ways to push it to the next level and discover himself as the artist that he is. I mean, that's what keeps us on our toes. That's what keeps us from getting bored as artists, is that consistent challenge. What do you say to that, Jose? Is that about right?
Yeah, man, for sure. I've been working on the mainstream for so long that it actually gets kind of boring, and your style kind of gets kind of stagnant. You get stagnant on your style, so it's there's no very much room for growing. In lots of work, I started in advertisement, but since every commercial and stuff you do for TV, they kind of need it in a very short amount of time. You don't really get to get better at drawing. And when you're drawing comics, there's always a deadline. And as you know, comics isn't a very well paid job on the mainstream right now. So it doesn't leave you with much with much wiggle room. I always have to be juggling around maybe 2 or 3 jobs at a time. So
wow.
Yeah, man. So I can make a good living out of this.
Yeah.
So you're actually working. You have worked in the comic book industry. Is it true what they say that the pay just ain't that great?
Oh yeah, man. I can tell right now. I'm working for some book right now, and well, they don't want to be associated with CG, so I won't tell who they are. But
so good.
Yeah, man. So
we are not for the faint of heart,
Yeah, for sure, man. But the thing is that right now, back in the day, I used to have gigs like maybe I will be paid like $300 for inks and maybe pencils and things. But as of right now, the best gig I could get from the mainstream, it's paying me like $120 per colored page. So I have to do inks. I have to do pencils, inks, and colors. And I took
Good
this.
use.
Yeah, man,
For
I
how
took this
much?
for 120. That's super low, and that was the
Dude,
best gig I could get. Like this gig I landed it about maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
man.
Oh, there's an echo.
Oh,
Aren't you
is there? I
guys?
can't hear an echo. That's
Sorry.
weird. Can you
Yeah, I
hear an
can't
echo,
anymore.
Corey?
No, I don't know.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, yeah, the thing is that at the time I used to, look for work. I was working on so many things, and I was trying to see, um, I was trying to get some cool paying comic book work, but I mean, I got into so many publishers, trying in to talk with them. Iron Circus, some of Black Mass reach out. I was working on first, second books, and I was working the Boom guys, the Boom Studio,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, all those guys. But the pay wasn't really all that great. It never reached more than $200 per fully finished page, so that really sucked.
Yikes, man. Well, we got Billy in the house. He wanted to be here, Jose,
Hey, Billy.
because he's a fan, and
Yeah,
and
man.
so I thought I'll let this guy on. I'll throw him a bone.
Throw me a bone.
Hi, Billy.
Hey.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I knew that about the industry. I'd read it, but it's different when you actually hear it from somebody who is, they got their elbows in the mud. They're there. They're working.
Yeah, man. Do you know that Boom Studio rates went down? I believe there was a time I was doing some Bravest Warriors covers, and yeah, the covers they paid you like really well, like maybe 200 for a finished piece, but there was so many Tumblr people coming into the industry, and they all wanted to draw all their favorite cartoons like for free. So at
Right.
one point, yeah, man, the rate dropped down. I believe the complete page was at one point like $40 for fully
Oh man,
colored, for inks,
40
pencils, colored.
bucks.
Yeah, man, for $40, and people just were, jumping at it at the very first opportunity they have to, to draw Adventure Time, Steven Universe. Yeah, they drop their rates like crazy. So yeah.
Man, that's disheartening. But on the bright side, you are doing your own comic book now. So, how has that panned out for you? Is that a little bit better than maybe working for a low page rate within the industry? A little
Yeah,
bit more
man.
fulfilling, even.
Yeah, it's way better, I believe, right now.
It's a
You know,
beautiful looking book, man.
thanks, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you should be proud.
Yeah, this is kind of the stuff I like. With my kind of style, it's kind of weird because you can. I had some trouble trying to get gigs. As everyone, I was trying to get into Marvel, into DC, but I also love animation. I also love the stuff from France. So I also love manga. So it was really weird with my style trying to fit into, establish. Mainstream comics. I actually almost got there. I like a guy from DC. His name is Carl Kirsch. I believe
Mhm.
that's how it's pronounced, and I really love his stuff. And he does this really animated style. And when I sent my portfolio to DC, they already give me the go ahead. Um, but they told me, just do thicker lines, maybe do some thick and thins on the line, and you're good to go. But yeah, I kind of, it was kind of hard getting to that point in which I could, get into the mainstream because of the cartoony style. But there
Yeah,
are some titles for that, and yeah,
Yeah.
man.
dude. Well, that's really cool. It's a unique style.
Yes.
That's what I love about it. And even though that can sometimes mean it's harder to get into a mainstream area of work within the entertainment industry. Whether that be comics, whether it be, even working on movies and animations and stuff. It's hard to know, actually. I can definitely see a studio going, hey, Jose, mate, your style is exactly how we want our new cartoon to look. And it'd be a hit. Like, I can definitely see you put that out there in front of kids and even adults, and they're going to connect with it in a big way. I mean, that's what cartoons, that's what's so beautiful about them is, and your style definitely speaks to this, is that it is able to connect with almost anybody, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, man, that was the idea for me. I want to do kind of like a mixture of comics, manga, animation, all the things I love, and make it kind of universal. You can see kind of cute stuff with very gnarly stuff, like all those hands there. Like, I really love to draw all this crazy stuff.
I can tell you have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, man, I love drawing monsters and all. Like you guys, I'm kind of super big fan of Berserk, so I really love all that detail, all that stuff. So I really love trying to put everything together. And well, I just came with this. And one thing I can say to all the guys here: stick with your guns. I was pretty much discouraged by almost everyone in the industry when I was starting up. My style was too cartoony, and everyone just said, like, man, just do realistic stuff, just do more European stuff, and all this kind of crazy stuff. But I actually got offered a job. I was maybe 18 or 19. I was offered a job at Marvel. I have a friend, Humberto Ramos, and he kind of mentored me when we were you could find him in every con here in Mexico, so he was pretty much easy access. He was the guy everyone knew. Francisco Herrera, all these guys, were like you could find them like pretty easy in the city. So I was the annoying kid, kind of bothering them, check my portfolio, what tips can you give me, and all that stuff. But because of Humberto, I was actually offered a gig at Marvel, but they told me, like, yeah, we like your stuff, we like your style, but could you do something more like Brian Hitch so we can get you into the Runaways book? And yeah, man, I was like, I actually want to enjoy drawing this. I mean, I respect, more realistic styles and I like them, but it's not. I know that I'm not gonna be enjoying drawing. Forcing myself to draw realistically. So I had, yeah, man, I had enough of that advertising, in which I have to sometimes copy photos and maybe do photorealistic stuff, and I was just pretty sick of that. And I said, like, no, man, I actually want to draw comics. I actually want to, let my hand loose, draw anything I can. Something you cannot get with a. I want to draw something you cannot get with a camera in real life. I want to draw something unique.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I completely understand that. But I got to ask, was it something that made you kind of like insecure or freaked out to go with such a stylistic choice? Like, it seems like you were sick of the realistic stuff, but did you hesitate a little bit about the narrowing of possible work opportunities due to the more stylistic approach that you ended up taking?
Actually, no, it was quite the opposite.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man, because one of my all-time favorite artists, it's called Carlos Meglia. And Carlos Meglia is quite, he did stuff for Superman. He did stuff for Spy Boy, for Star Wars comics. He did an animated series called Cyber 6. And in Argentina, he was having this weekly comic. He might be the only guy who I know could match the Japanese on on speed and style. So this guy in the 80s was popping 20, 22 pages a week, and
Wow.
you could and the he if you see his work, it's genius. The perspective. He used to work in animation, so he worked on Disney and stuff. You could see a lot of techniques, cool techniques on Cyber 6. He did one of the things he did masterfully was repeating backgrounds, but at the time there wasn't Photoshop, so he actually just photocopy some of the Xerox some of the panels.
That's amazing.
And just draw add some white ink and then add the character. And he was doing this by the late 70s, early 80s. So he was kind of this really pioneer. He used to do a lot of great stuff with acrylic, with mixed techniques. So I really love Carlos Meglia's work, and you could see if you right now open any of his books, you could see all the similar to, all his characters are kind of on model and they're pretty similar, and that's something I was aiming for. And looking at him working on animation and working on all this stuff kind of gave me hope. So I was actually very hopeful to get to draw my version of Superman or my version of Batman or all that stuff. And once you get into animation, changing styles can be, it's super, super helpful, because you will get to draw. When you go into animation, you need to, depending on the show, you need to adapt to some styles. When I was on DreamWorks, I was doing some more action adventure in Voltron, and when I was in Cartoon Network, I was doing these little cute guys on Adventure Time. On regular show, no anatomy at all. But in Voltron, you have to know, how to move all the figure, 360, so you can get some cool shots. And Kung Fu Panda and both How to Train Your Dragon, they were more 3D shows. But
that's really cool, man.
Yeah, man, those were really cool. Some really cool people there. And you just need to adapt to the styles. So I have kind of I can adapt to some of the styles I find interesting. But if I don't really like one style, like I was working on VeggieTales, and that's like really kid stuff. So even though the designs were similar, it took me like maybe a month to get used to drawing all these little simple objects.
Absolutely. All right, so it's 18 minutes in, and I haven't said hello to the chat yet. So what I'm going to do, Jose, is I'll let you get your drawing stuff ready, and you can share your screen when you're all set and able, and we'll get that up. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and have a look at some of the comments here. Say hello to the good people who are tuning in right now. Billy, why don't you? How are you doing, man?
I'm so incredibly happy to be here today. Thank you for having me. Glad Jose's here. Getting this actually comment live on Jose Drawing Live is a unique treat, and that's why I kind of requested I see if I could be here today. Jose knows I'm a big fan of his.
I really appreciate
I'm just doing great.
Yeah, I really appreciate Billy. He's a really cool guy.
I mean, I don't like to overly praise artists too much, but when I see something that I like, I mean, the stuff that Jose is putting out has me more excited than any other artist that's come out in CG since I first came to CG. And I first came to CG like through Trent Kanuga, so that's kind of like the school of philosophy that of style that I come from, like to begin with. So it's not really a surprise that Jose's work, has hit me as hard as it has. But huge fan. Really happy to be here. Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Clayton. Thank you, Corey. Thanks for the chat.
Thank you for being here, man.
All right.
So-
Black Rose Comics. Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
You know what? Start sketching something. Warm up, and then I'm going to give you the stage.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just say hello real quick. Black Rose Comics. How you doing, man? Thanks for being here. Hockey. He wants a wrench. We'll wrench you at some point, Hockey. Don't even worry about it, man. I got you, man. What About is here. He says that you're very talented, Jose. Isn't that so nice of him to say?
Thanks, man. Hard work.
NTM Comics is here. Yeah, we agree probably on a lot of things, NTM Comics, I would say. But we're not always going to disagree. Sometimes we will agree, and that's good. All right. Emmanuel Nicholas, hey, how you doing? Do you have an Instagram account, Jose, that people can follow you on?
I think he meant Indiegogo. Oh, wait, it doesn't mean Instagram. My bad.
Yeah, man. I have a dead Instagram account lying there. It's called Jose Garcia Artworks. You can check it out, but I don't usually update. I'm kind of more active on Twitter.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
All
if you want to see more Jose rather than Instagram, you can subscribe to Jose Garcia Art here on YouTube, where Mondays he will give art tips to everybody out there that would like some art tips, and then from 12 p.m. Pacific time to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Monday through Friday, Jose Garcia is also dual streaming live on YouTube. That's at Jose Garcia Art on the YouTube, and then Jose Garcia Art on the Twitter, where he is simulcasting for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. So if you'd like to get more Jose, your opportunities are there 5 days a week for 3 hours, and then 1 hour for art tips specifically Monday night. So go ahead and check that Jose Garcia Art on the YouTube or Twitter.
Is Billy getting paid for promotion?
Yeah, Billy's on my payroll. You wouldn't know that.
He should be paid for that. That was really good.
Yeah, man, that was good.
Omni, how you doing? Bria Tia. He says, or she, rather. I don't know. Bria could be anybody. Wow, the black and white line art edition is insane.
I'd say Bria is a she, man.
Oh, I don't know, man.
Oh, wait, you can't assume anything.
It's also actually, a cheese.
Not bad.
Well, not quite a cheese, actually. That's Brie, not Bria. Yeah, really, really awesome. Darren Wagner is in the house. Darren, mate, we've got to get you on here, man. It's never ever happens. I don't know what's going on. All right. Oh, what? Billy have never even pitched his own show. Do you have a show, Billy?
I do pitch my show. Well, it's not my show. I'm on a show once a week. It's the Skip and D-Wag show on Skip Edwards Art Channel. It is on Wednesday nights. It goes on right after the Michael Bancroft show, so that would be 9 p.m. Pacific time.
Wait, is it the Skip Edwards channel?
Yeah. It's called the Skip and D-Wag show on Skip Edwards channel, featuring Lord Finatra and Billy Basco. So you tune in there, and you might catch some shenanigans.
And get me a good dose of Billy.
I think everybody's getting a good dose of Billy. I think that they might get to a point here where everyone's had enough of dose of Billy.
Wow, Jose, man, look at these beautiful curvaceous lines you're laying down onto the canvas here. I can already see the shapes that you incorporate into your finished work, even in the very basic lines that you lay down to warm up. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been doing this for years, so it's just practice. I'm gonna tell you. I mean, I can get from square one how to make an illustration, or maybe some composition tips. Whatever you guys like me to teach. I'm kind of I can pronounce that. I kind of know some stuff of a little bit of everything.
Nice.
I wanted to show you before that just a little something, which are my. I actually work in Photoshop, and I wanted to show you guys kind of the stuff I usually do. My
Absolutely.
favorite. I got my favorite kind of plugins, so I want to show you kind of something real fast. The way I work with kind of perspective. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm drawing some buildings right here.
Mm-hmm.
I can only see on the StreamYard. I can see my. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. It was kind of lagging out. I don't know why, but sometimes for sketching stuff, I can only do kind of some silhouettes in which I will get later on. But I really like this cool plugin for people who do perspective. It's called Perspective Tools. Perspective Tools 2. It's for Photoshop. You can buy it on Gumroad, and you see all these these little buildings and how how difficult it will be to make all the perspective points and the grids and stuff.
Yeah.
This plugin, which it does, what it does is that you only put kind of some lines, like you follow your main lines, kind of like this and this, and you just click on the grid, and it'll automatically puts you kind of this 1-point perspective grid. So that's real cool. And you can actually, you can actually do that the same for other lines, kind of these other perspective lines.
That's so cool.
And you just add click, and you have all the grid right there. I hope it's not lagging a lot.
You know what? Try this, because I remember when I was sharing Photoshop screen onto StreamYard, it bugged out on me too. So try sharing your screen instead of the application window.
Yeah, I'm doing that actually.
Oh, okay, right. Oh,
let me share again. Okay, share screen. I'm gonna use share screen number 2. Yep, that's it.
All right, we'll
Hopefully
see what
it's
happens.
Not lagging again. Yeah, what I was telling is that you only do this kind of paths here. Just add a click, and it automatically will do all the grids for you. So that's really cool. And for perspective, this is like awesome because you only need kind of like your sketch, and you can do all the rest. Here.
Wait, what was that tool?
It's called Perspective Tools 2 for Photoshop.
Can you make me a wrench in chat, and I can put links to all these tools for you guys?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, Billy.
Let me just.
Yeah.
Jose.
Man.
But
having to go to Google and get a perspective grid template.
Yeah. This is more. I like it because this is more comfortable. You can get your perspective grid in 5 minutes. We used to use this in animation quite a lot. So we actually let me do some of the tricks I did for animation. Hopefully it's not lagging again. Yeah, it's lagging. Sorry.
Oh, it's still lagging. That's so weird. It must be because your PC is too OP. It's too overpowered.
I don't know what it's doing this, man. Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it, man. It's all good. It's all good.
It's supposed to be a draw stream, and it's just, lagging.
Oh.
What was that, Billy? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say sometimes StreamYard's hit and miss like that. Like I'll do streams with some people where I can go hours where my Photoshop is just fine, and then other times where immediately.
Right now, I'm sharing brush lag. Yeah, man. It's kind of weird. The thing with these perspective tools, let's make this just a little window here. I'm gonna do something like kind of just draw like the front of the building. And what I'm going to do right now, it's just I'm gonna duplicate. Well, I usually just add some more detail. Let's add some stuff here on the side, maybe some bricks. I usually
Like
just
a delicious ice cream.
yeah. Man.
How do you
Golden
come
Gate
up with this stuff? Where do you pull that from? Is that just sitting in the recesses of your imagination?
Yeah, we used to do this all kind of shortcuts when we were on on advertisement. I was there when I was 18, so I kind of learned all the ropes there. So it was pretty cool because everything we had to do, it was like just in maybe I don't know, we had to deliver kind of maybe 100 panels a day with color. So we had to
with color.
Yeah, with
How did
color.
you do that?
One thing I will tell you, we never ever went home early. So we actually used to get some sleep there.
Man.
It kind of sucked, but I learned a lot.
You know what, though? That is the reality of these industries. I know that was definitely the same deal with the video game industry.
Yeah.
You'd always be staying back, and if you heard the crazy stories that like Capcom and stuff, like they had beds set up there for their workers to rest in because of the crazy hours that they would be working to, just get things out, get things done, meet the deadlines and whatnot. And even then they were still behind. There was always going to be delays. I think that's what is, really, really interesting actually about a lot of independents going into producing their own stuff. I think that a lot of them, what they're going to have to do is, including us, in fact, and probably you don't need to worry about this, Jose, because you know the game, you know how it's done, and you know what the reality of it is. But a lot of independents actually don't, and so in their mind, they think they can get something done in a certain amount of time, when in reality, there's definitely going to be some level of delay. There always is. It may be due to motivation. It may be due to things outside of their control. It might be just unforeseeable circumstances. And so it's definitely something that needs to be taken into account in a big way, because it happens. So it happens so much in the comic book industry, in the movie industry, in the video game industry. So it's actually really awesome to listen to you talking about that stuff, Jose, because this is the background that you come from. You know how it really works out there.
Yeah, man.
Cheating.
Yeah, this is cheating like a lot, man. But it gets stuff done. I will show you the results of this cheating. I'm just doing this kind of, eyeballing it. I usually will do it more accurately, but right now it's just for teaching purposes. So yeah.
So you do this in comics as well?
Yeah, I did this in comics as well, man. And you don't even notice because most people don't really actually go see every window from your perspective. It's kind of far behind, and I add so much detail that you don't really see. You don't really see all the little all the little tricks, all the little windows and stuff. So let's just turn this down.
Man, that's crazy.
Well, I will just use the perspective tools here and just try to set some stuff right, like this one. Yeah, like we could. I'm just gonna eyeball it here, and I'm just gonna put like kind of some plants here, some stuff, even some people here.
Right. I'm guessing you go over and knead it up with the inks or something.
Excuse me, what was that?
You go over and neaten it up with inks.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I do that a lot. I mean,
this is great. I think I might steal an idea.
Well, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working smarter, not harder, because you got to figure if this is a panel, you're going to have your heroes or whatever, or explosion, or even somebody talking that's going to be possibly in the foreground, or even if it was a hero flying in from the building. People are going to be looking at whatever you have set as your focal point. I mean, unless that building is your focal point, nobody cares if you can draw every single square in that window in that building.
Exactly.
Like they want to see where the focal point is at. And yeah, if the rest of it is obviously adding to the structure of the picture, but I mean, if you can draw one window, you can draw 80. There's no point in beating yourself into the ground drawing 80 windows. That's
yeah, man.
An architect wouldn't do it.
Darren says, I have never delivered a pizza late, especially crackaroni pizza. People
Wait,
get
so
mad.
Darren is a pizza guy?
Hail the crackback, man.
I mean pizza. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you can see it right here, man. This is, I don't know how much it took me, but,
took
I
you
could
no
just...
time at all.
Yeah, so this is
crazy.
how I work.
But so was it literally 100 images a day, 100 panels a day?
Yeah, at the time, but we were maybe two guys working on it, so we had to do like 50-50, and yeah, sometimes we used to just stay all night. Sometimes we kind of flip a coin sometimes, and sometimes yeah.
How do you man, I got to tackle your mindset here. How do you stay that focused for that amount of time? Because you said you're staying back after hours, right? So how do you make it so that your brain doesn't start fatiguing and sending you to sleep? Because that's a lot of focus. That's a really, really long time to sit down and focus on something in a way where you're not mucking around, man. You're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You're constantly hammering it out. So talk about your mindset a little bit there. I want to know what's gone through your head, what kind of state you're in, so that I can invoke that state myself.
Yeah. Oh man, you said it like it's supernatural, but no, man. The thing is that this is kind of some stuff I want to talk with people, with my students mostly. It's that pretty much there are different kinds of artists, and there's different kinds of people, personalities and stuff. So I'm kind of like a rare kind of industrious guy, and being industrious is kind of it's kind of a weird personality trait. Most people work through to get to that point, but I usually I've been like this forever, so I kind of say that my industriousness is pretty natural. So that's kind of unfair for some other people, because I have a brother and he draws too, but he's more like he loves planning instead of drawing. So
okay, so explain what you mean by industrious.
Oh yeah, well, this is taken from Jordan Peterson's lectures. He talks about the five. I believe it's the five big traits, which are industriousness. I can remember how he phrased the other ones, but it's kind of thinking, doing, feeling, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's planning stages, and there's just guys that that are just waiting until the last moment to actually do something. So
procrastinators.
So,
procrastinate, yeah.
So do you actually plan something like this out, or do you just go to town on it and see what happens?
Yeah, for this
Well, like
one,
say one of your comic book pages, for example.
how do I tackle them?
Well. Do you like how much planning actually goes into that versus okay, I'm just going to get the pencil moving on the canvas here and see what happens.
I actually, since I come from storyboarding, I can start sketching and just go from page to page. Like this is another page I'm doing from Lumina Vhox. So
Cool.
yeah, this is kind of these are my sketches. I usually take I put a Pomodoro clock every time I work, so I don't spend more than 30 minutes in one page. If I spend more than 30 minutes sketching a page, I usually just maybe delete that file and go to the or do another one, and they
Okay.
end up like kind of. I was doing this this morning, so yeah, I was filling all the blacks and stuff here. They're grabbing this little girl here. It's a down shot, kind of like from.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and here's some stuff destroying. They're kind of in the middle of in a ritual, so these guys are kind of being destroyed. It's kind of hard to know with all these details and no color, but yeah, I kind of do all these really cool compositions, and I wanted to tackle that with this little drawing. And the thing with this drawing is that the way I see things, it's there's two kind of artists: the anatomical, the anatomy artist, and the and the how can I say this? The shape artist. So I'm a shape artist. I usually work with shapes, and whenever I have a shape, kind of lay down, I just go at it because I know it's gonna work, and this is very easy to do. It's got to do with something in composition called leading lines, and you can lead the eye however you want. So let's see, if I put kind of this arrow, I want everyone to see here, and each arrow is an idea, and the bigger the idea, the easier it is to follow, right? So if you got another idea, kind of like if you have kind of like this little crooked arrow here, these are different ideas. This one idea, two ideas, three ideas, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ideas until you get to the final, right? So you will always follow the more clear, the more sharp idea. And these other ideas, which are kind of smaller ideas, it's kind of when you start drawing and you start inking, some people start doing kind of these chicken scratch lines. These are different ideas trying to get across kind of some volume, right? And there are some artists who have kind of clear ideas, and it can show on their lines. Their lines are kind of fast and confident because they are they have this idea on their mind, right? So they're just start doing these ideas quick. Whether a beginning artist starts trying to set his mind on what he's trying to do and throw all these ideas, right? So the thing with this stuff from ideas is that I got my leading line. This is my leading line, and I say, okay, I want the focus of my of my picture going here. So I'm gonna have the biggest idea pointing here, but we can have like other ideas. They will try to compete with this, but the bigger idea always wins. So the thing is that I can put other ideas, kind of like this, and just start, saying like, you can go through here, you can go through here, and everything. Maybe I want to point this idea here, down here, and maybe in this idea there are other ideas. There are other ideas competing, And once I have all of this, I start doing some shapes, like I don't know,
Oh
maybe
wow.
yeah. After this, I'm just gonna put all this. The bigger idea, I won't do. I won't do any cracks or something like that because I want the idea to be, the biggest possible here. It's gonna be competing with this one, with this down here. So I'm gonna cut this idea before it loses, before it wins. The bigger the idea is, the better you follow. So I want everyone to be following this. So I just start, kind of putting some sketching right here. Here are some ideas. I'm gonna put, some volumes here.
Wow.
And
So you just use lines on the page to come up with basically your composition and the different elements that are going to be included in it.
yep,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So this
awesome.
is, and this here's we're gonna put everything's leading to this guy. So right now we're gonna put, this little idea here, and we're gonna start overlapping some stuff. So I can get the background here, like real quick. Now maybe a little perspective here, and maybe we have maybe a cat going in this direction.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
And
that's so cool.
yeah, man, and it's super fun. I mean, doing all this, it's super fun. And here I can put some perspective, like going all the way through this guy. And now I can put the character here,
Mm-hmm.
kind of walking. And with another, with less contrast, we can put some background like far away. We can do some buildings, some stuff that doesn't compete. So
That is amazing.
then I just try to figure out the perspective. And
Yeah.
if you like everything, then I'm going to put kind of like this horizon line, and this guy is being cut here by the by the pecs in the middle of the torso. So if I want another, if I want another guy who has the same height as this guy, I'm just gonna draw starting from the middle of the torso. So here's another guy, and they will be incomplete. They will be,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Gotcha.
they will be the same height. So if I want to put another guy here, I'm just gonna have to stretch the floor, but this guy will be the same height as this guy and this guy here. So I'm just gonna put this guy kind of like overlapping with.
This is amazing, Jose. Like, it's so like such simple tips, but I feel like it's really pretty impactful.
These are simple stuff, and you can use them, for draw. I want to teach people to draw quick. Some stuff that you will actually get to use. These are kits, so they are kind of smaller, but you can see all the way here how I got. I actually interrupted this line because the eyes always have like in the it kind of like in like this little pyramid of important things. The eyes always go first. So even though this is the most kind of the clearer, the more big idea, the eyes win over that. So, but the thing I did here is that the eyes of this guy are actually looking at the line, so it can bring us here. So I have all this composition stuff going, and you can do pretty much anything with this. If you want to, if you want to put these little guys here, like this guy is being cut by the pecs. So I just always do these little 2D maps, and it doesn't matter how how this guy walks around this world. It will always be cut by the middle of the torso. So you can do other stuff like, what if I want to put kind of like this mailbox, and I want it in proportion to the perspective. I can do this little trick here. I'm just gonna select this little map. I'm just gonna bring this down, and I'm just gonna grow it a little bit, and I'm just gonna trying to put it on the horizon. Let's copy this and paste it on another layer. Oh, sorry about that. Let's copy this.
For everybody watching too, as you can see, no matter how much noise Jose's putting, even on the right side of the canvas, the bottom of the canvas, there's no single one line that's longer than that one original line of action on the top of that roof. Like you can see the shapes are just as big, like with the figures and the bushes that are on the right, but there's no single one line that's competing against that one huge line of action like he was talking about. Those other lines might be even bigger in space on the canvas, but the fact that that one line of action is completely unbroken leads the eye that way. So it doesn't matter if those other bushes are bigger or even closer to the foreground. The fact that there is movement in that line, you're going to want to go to that stronger edge. So he's always leading you, even with those other bushes and stuff. It's good to pay attention to those things for artists that are doing pages.
Yeah, man. So this is the way I do composition. I do the leading lines a lot. I use right now. I just use some shapes, but I can actually the way I did this is I did all these background lines, so I could get kind of this interesting background. So everything's working. I'm gonna put kind of like these little plants here going on. So it can look like, I don't know, some Italian restaurant or something. But there's another way to actually do this, and you actually touched upon this on another stream. You were studying Frank Frazetta. So you were talking about shapes and how he does this really, instead of going anatomically, he just start putting some shapes on the canvas, and he works from them. So that's another way to do this. Show
us how that happens, actually, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to grasp.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this. This is super easy because we have two shapes, and they are actually triangles. So this guy is a triangle. This guy is a triangle. And the cool things about triangles is that they have direction. So the direction with this, it's super easy because you can see kind of, the edge pointing towards something. So that's super easy. And this guy is kind of stagnant. So he's just waiting on the monster. So he's just pointing up. But as I said before, this is the bigger idea. The bigger line here, right? So this will lead your eye. It doesn't matter that you have kind of this little building. This line will always. This will be the bigger line within all the composition. So your eye will naturally follow that. So when I draw this monster, kind of this Godzilla-like monster.
Awesome.
You can pretty much your eye will go towards it. I'm gonna put some eyes.
That's really great. And I'm assuming so how does this work if you've already got a pre-established character design? Say you want to use this Godzilla monster again in the next image. Do you still use the triangular shape to initially lay down the draft of him with?
Well, that depends on your composition. Because let me do that. do another real quick, and I'm gonna use the Billy.
Can I? It wouldn't necessarily the triangle shape. I'm just giving an example here for Jose. In the second panel, you might want to turn the camera by 180 degrees, so now you're actually looking at the dinosaur from the hero's perspective.
Yeah.
And the triangle at that point might become the blast that's coming out at the hero. It would make a triangle shape. The point of it would be pointing towards now. Instead of pointing away from the Godzilla, it would be pointing in towards the Godzilla, because you'd see this blast coming out of his mouth, and the triangle now would be forming back at him. So even though you were looking from the perspective of the hero, the focus would still be right back onto the dinosaur, using a triangle shape as a different part of the composition.
That's awesome.
I'm going to illustrate what Bill is saying. Pretty much, this will be the character, and he will be looking right here. But the triangle will be something like kind of like in perspective. So it will be a cone, kind of looking inwards, kind of going this way. So you will have everything going to the tip. So it's just inverted. So you pretty much are doing the triangle shape this way.
Yeah.
And you will have here, you will have your character kind of fending off. Here's closing his eyes. I worry about an anatomy later. It just has to fit this kind of cone right now.
Okay, right. So how much does the cone shape actually define the character? So we're talking about the character might have their own design, but does the shape determine what kind of pose they're going to be in?
Yep.
And basically the description of movement that will be applied to them, and where they will be positioned, how much space they'll take up, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, the thing is, you have to know all your the psychology of your shapes. So there's the triangle. This is kind of like for something dynamic. So if you want movement, you want to go with the triangle. If you want something kind of like steady, kind of somewhat boring, you will go for the square. And if you want something kind of friendly or lively, you could go with the circle. So let's do some stuff here. Let's put a character just walking, and a character walking. So if I want to put a guy here on this little square, let's add those three shapes. So a guy walking here, what I'm going to do is think of this as the sculptors from for marble. So you have this shape, and you just need to carve out your figure. So the cool thing about shapes is that that in your composition, whatever you want to try, you have kind of this volume, this height for your objects. So when you do composition, you are pretty much balancing some stuff, right? So you have kind of this thing right here, and you need to balance it with something here, and it's just a game of balancing stuff, so it can look cool, balancing some elements and trying to make something more important than other, using different shapes and stuff, right? But once you have our composition, I usually do this, and once it's already set like this, I use this little. I never go out of if I have set this size for this kind of rectangle, I never go higher. If I'm drawing my character, I don't go higher, so I don't go outside this little. I don't go outside of this.
So do you know what's going to be in there yet? When you lay down that rectangle, do you have an understanding of, okay, in my mind, I see him in this pose and in this position facing this way?
Well, you can do a lot of stuff like this. Maybe like this character. We said we have a character, just walking. So what I'm going to do is just do some really... these shapes are kind of... it's a way for me to understand what's happening. Kind of, it's super abstract, but after I kind of carve, this gives me the size I can work in, and this gives me kind of the movement. So I'm starting carving, so some rocks are going to start to fall apart when I'm doing, I'm here with my hammer. Yep. And once I have kind of this movement, I kind of start, putting my character here and start working with anatomy. So here's
right.
And instead of just a guy walking, this guy is crouching, kind of like looking down. And I'm just carving stuff from this, my main figure. It will give me the height, and the second figure I'm carving out, it's gonna give me kind of the movement. So I can use this guy here. I can use this. Can use this guy in this little box. So I'm just gonna erase everything, and I know it's gonna work well with the rest of the composition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can have the moon here, and these are all these little shapes are stand-ins for to be carved for something cooler. So I can do kind of cooler shape trees here, but I already know where they are going to be on this composition, right?
Great.
So that's how I work.
Yeah,
that's really, really interesting, man. I think what helps me is the idea that these shapes are like balls of clay that you can essentially shape and carve out once they're down on the page into what you need them to be. So that's awesome. And I think you explained it beautifully. A very difficult to explain concept.
Thanks, man. Yeah, this is some stuff that when you are into animation, you will get, pretty quickly you will get the hang of this. I'm using shapes to know the movement. I'm going to interconnect some stuff here. Like this circle helps me to have two cool ideas, people interacting. You will have to see this guy, but you have this other guy. So this is just one shape, but it's interacting, and it's pretty cool to get to do some stuff like that. And maybe
it's definitely a different way of thinking than most people are. I would say a lot of artists are used to. A big reason why I'm a fan of Jose is this is a lot how not just animators work, but a lot of concept artists work from this way rather than from anatomy or from perspective. It's all shape and composition first, and kind of bouncing off what Jose was saying. Here's thinking about just what you want in the composition, not really like where people are, how people are positioned, or how they're turned, or where they're looking. You're really thinking about the whole composition and more what the feel of it first is, and then how those shapes can strengthen that feel, and then just like you said, then deciding, well, this block now, this can be a building, this can be a person, this can be, because you already know what your main focus is going to be, and the rest you're just filling in with your imagination.
Having
like if
fun,
you were
man.
rendering, dancing around the page, making sure. And see, once you have those shapes set in, you know that you're not going to be breaking the three planes of depth. You won't be breaking, like your line of action. You have all your little spaces kind of like set up. It's almost like setting up like when you were a kid and you were getting ready to like play with your action figures and stuff. You know, you may not like position each figure perfectly. You'd kind of set up your little armies and have it all set up, and then you'd be like, yeah, now let's do the battle. You know, and then the battle part was like you playing. Like that's how you kind of have to think about these pages. Like, man, you're in there with your figure. Oh, I'm sorry, that's terrorists trying to find me.
Okay. I heard someone dying before too.
Otacon, I'm here in Shadow Moses. So yeah, then once the shapes are laid down, you don't have to worry about breaking any of those other rules. You can literally just like I said, like you're a kid playing with your toys, man. You have all your stuff set up, you have your little bases set up, and it's just now you're just crashing stuff against each other. Yeah, like
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Great.
Obviously. Yeah, go ahead, Corey.
I was just going to say, I know that Frank Frazetta always used a triangle composition for all these pictures.
Well, he wasn't just talking about that either. It was almost like shapes within those larger compositional shapes that he was laying down onto the page. And what is amazing about Frank Frazetta is how he used the same technique, essentially, that Jose just showed us, to lay down the basis for his illustrations. Yet at the same time, he was quite a realistic artist. So he was working with things like anatomy and perspective and all of the other stuff. So
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm all good. I'm done now.
You have to cut me off at some point. The three shapes that like Jose was talking about, like the basic ones, the triangle, the square, and the circle. You can see those, and just you can look at any of the pages that are on Lumina Vhox now on Indiegogo. You can look at any of those compositions of those pages, and those shapes are working off one another. Like there's a lot of shots where Jose likes to use where they're really high angle, looking up at something that's high up into the sky. And you can see that like the perspective is looking up at a triangle shape that's obviously focused up towards like what we were supposed to look at, making that triangle. That's the action, the interest. The stuff towards the bottom of the page will be usually made of squares. And that's a boring shape on purpose because he doesn't want us to be looking at the bottom of the page. There needs to be stuff there, but we don't want necessarily it made of all those triangle shapes. The big triangle shape is pointing up towards what we want to see. There's going to be smaller squares down at the bottom that are kind of boring, that just kind of force the eye up into it. And then at the top of that pinnacle, Jose likes to do this a lot, and I break down a lot of his work, is you'll see clouds swirling up in the sky. You know, that look where you're looking up at the sky and you can see that like the clouds swirling around a mountain peak, and that's bringing in the circle. See, now you have the triangle, you have the square, and you have the circle, and they're all strengthening one another to give you that composition. You know, that the circle at the bottom feels nice and calm, so your eye doesn't feel like it needs to dance anywhere else. The squares at the bottom of the mountain are boring, so it forces you to want to move up right towards that thing that you always you're trying to get the reader to look at, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely stuff that Corey and I probably struggle with because obviously, you know, we focus on the detail and getting the anatomy right and stuff. And man,
I can show you some of my pages, how I work with them. So pretty much when you have kind of everything already.
Who's dying at the moment?
I don't know.
Someone dying.
Is that on your end, Billy?
Their last
I'm alone here, so it's not me.
I don't know.
Probably my wife coughing in the background.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah, I can show you some of my pages, man. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
This was kind of a KOZOR guy. I don't know.
That's so cool, by the way.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Like,
and this was just like a square and circle composition.
And look how fast you put that together. It's amazing.
He's very much a square. He's just sitting there. You can see the cube around him, you know?
I can actually move him a little bit here so it can... I'm going to put the eyes connecting so he's gazing into this. So, yeah. And I'm going to put the battle axe right here and, you know, just have fun with this.
Absolutely. By the way, if anybody watching has questions about what Jose is doing here on the screen, as you can see, I have asked many of them myself. So by all means, throw them down in the comment section below while he's here to answer them, because this is some next level stuff. Like, I've been teaching illustration for a long time, but I'm not even on this level. I'm nowhere near it. So he's a wonderful, wonderful mind in the field of stylized illustration, and you got to take advantage of that when you've got the opportunity. So, awesome stuff.
For sure.
Look at that, multiple mouths.
What I'm going to say is that it doesn't matter the level of detail. That's the least worry you have to be about an illustration. If your illustration works within, from the basic lines, it doesn't matter what kind of finish you give it to it. I give it a lot of cell shade because that's real quick. But let me bring kind of a page I've worked on. Let me find something cool to look at.
See, Jose's drawing KOZOR, and I'm sitting here drawing Mia from Lumina.
Oh, that's
awesome. I'm so honored, Jose, that you just drawn Chief Baron there.
Let me find some of my Ginger and Luna stuff. Yeah.
One thing I found interesting, because I've been studying the Frazetta colors, and they were talking about how if you turn these paintings black and white, it's almost like two tones.
Oh yeah,
it's like the characters will be really light. Yeah.
Yeah, I play with values a lot. You can see values here, and you can see that I always do all this stuff. I'm gonna turn down the kind of the. I usually add another layer just for the rendering. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna turn down all the effects and stuff so you can see what's actually going on here.
Everybody timestamp this. He's pulling back the curtain. He's letting us see like how the Wizard of Oz like really does the magic here. This is I've never seen this before, so this is awesome.
These are just other lines, but I usually only work in levels. You can see my lines are always the same despite the finish I give it to this. My lines are always like this, are always one line. I don't use pen pressure for any of my work. I actually turn off pen pressure. So my lines are always consistent, only just one line. This is just for animation purposes, and I don't want to, I lose a lot of time getting the line weight. So, thick and thin lines, they work for some styles, but for mine, the color is gonna kill it completely. So, or my rendering is gonna kill it completely. So I don't even bother with that anymore. I just gotta have my, all my pieces together. And in another layer, I usually just add this kind of rendering.
Oh, wow.
But I tell you this because for me, it's more important to have the character and the composition set right, rather than thinking about how the rendering is gonna end up, right? So for me, rendering, it's the last thing I do. So once everything is right, I get to the when my image actually works. That's when I actually jump into rendering. Mm-hmm. In animation, you go from general to particular. So the more general you can go, and the more general you can be its shapes, and then you are just kind of zooming in into the illustration, right? Like I started with a block, then I kind of carve it into a weird shape and into an abstract shape. Then I use my anatomy stuff to carve it into a character. And after I do the character, I focus on the movement. then I focus on the on the anatomy, then the clothes, then the details, and at the very last thing on my mind, it's the rendering. So you can see that this looks cool with all the rendering here. This looks cool. This one here, these other guys here, and
beautiful.
And this one here, this is super rendered. But if you turn all the layers off, it's pretty much the same thing I'm doing with my work on Lumina Vhox. You can see I always use the same brush size. I always do the same kind of line. But the thing is that on this one, I won't render it. So I know that colors will do all the heavy lifting. So yeah,
Okay.
the last thing on my mind always is the render.
So with the rendering, if you've got some areas that have got the rendering, like in the last few panels that you showed us on the previous page,
Yep.
right, like here, and then on the octopus page, is that in the same book?
No, this is a different one. This is called
Okay.
Ginger and Luna. Yeah, this
And-
was
and
oh, sorry.
Sorry, would you ever put those pages in the same book? Just because one thing I've always wondered is, if everything's not rendered, will there be a incongruence with the style? Will there be a point where it sort of breaks and looks like almost a different kind of style?
Not at all. I believe since it's just rendering, it's just kind of finishing a touch. Let me show you some of the other Ginger and Luna stuff. So this is kind of a finished page. I'm just gonna use flats. These are flats, only one gradient, but this is the same girl. This is a Ginger, and these are just flats, and I'm just using kind of like the atmospheric colors, so I can get this stuff. But I don't. Deep down, it's the same. It's the same work as this. This is only more rendered. I work with values here, but I actually you can see a page I'm working on right now. So
cool.
Is this another book you're going to campaign?
Yeah, it's already finished, man. Well, I'm just kind of finish the intro pages, but this is a 280 page book, and this was the first thing I did for CG. But yeah, it was too big.
It's just one of the few 200+ page books Jose just kind of has in his back pocket. I mean, like we all do. It's the one we're not ready to launch yet because we want to launch something smaller, like toward like 180 pages, not quite 250. I mean, man, you guys have those ready, right? Don't you?
If that was 200 pages, I would be more likely to buy it, I reckon. I love graphic novels.
Yeah.
Or like manga.
Right now, and for everybody that's out there, Jose just did add the what's it called? The Racing Luna perk to the Lumina Vhox campaign. So you can get for $75, I believe, US, you get 4 books, and it's over 650 pages of Jose Garcia artwork on the campaign that's currently running. It's Truckus Maximus, Eloista, My 8-Bit Story, and Lumina Vhox, all complete.
Is that in the same book?
There are 4 different books, all in the same current campaign. You can get them all for $75, over 650 pages of Jose Garcia artwork right now.
That's insane.
If we could get Frog G or anybody to link that campaign again to the page, you can go there. He just added 25 more copies. So if you would like 250 page of high-speed racing trucking action by Jose Garcia, make sure that you pick up one of those 25 copies that might be left of Truckus Maximus.
Hey Jose, you gotta hire this guy, man. He's like your PR guy.
Thanks a lot, Billy. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, this is amazing stuff. So what are your general rules for rendering then, Jose? Like, do you say, for example, you always render hair, but you leave the skin of your characters bare without any rendering? Is that like a rule, for example? Do you have other rules?
Yeah, just pretty much keep everything on different layers. so I can play with the values and always highlight everything. I usually I am very focused on the values, on the contrast. You can see if I kind of zoom out, and you can see this image here. You can see the ginger right here, and you can see kind of this guy in the distance. So, but if I turn down some layers, where it is, if I turn down this layer, you will not get the sense of depth. Like, you can see the depth here, you can see the contrast.
Okay, cool.
Contrast and no contrast. So I'm always looking out for contrast and stuff. I can explain to you a little bit of contrast if you like.
I'd love that, man.
Okay,
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I usually on my classes do everything, step by step, but this is kind of like, quick stream. Well, not quick stream, but I don't have enough hours. Yeah, you were saying, Corey. Sorry.
All right, I actually have to go now. So I got to get back to doing things.
Do you have to save your beautiful wife?
Probably. I'll say goodbye for now, guys. But it's been good. I've learned so much from Jose. I'll probably watch this back.
Always good to see you, Corey. Can I share my screen really quick before Corey goes? I wanna show off my Lumina to Corey.
Do it.
So you can.
Do it. Did you share it yet?
Right there. I thought I was going to be drawing this whole time while Jose was drawing, but I started my Mia.
Awesome.
Good, man.
Corey, have a good day. It's always good to see you. I'm going to stop my screen. Let's get back to Jose.
Corey, you
have
should
a good
stay,
one, mate.
I'll see you later.
Corey.
All right, man.
See ya, Corey.
You maybe want to stay, mate. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, because contrast is something where we're like, okay, we want to detail the heck out of everything. We want to render everything. We want to place shadows and everything. But how do we make this image read properly?
Oh man, you can put all the detail in the world, and contrast will save you. As you've seen on my pages, I do like tons of detail. Even if you zoom in on the most on the furthest building, you will see it will have like windows and all this kind of stuff, right? So the thing, this works. I'm gonna put I'm gonna draw a little guy here, but I'm gonna put it maybe kind of detailed, maybe with hair, and I'm just gonna you know what, I'm gonna do kind of like a little knight.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So this guy, kind of like Dark Souls, but kind of cartoony. So this guy will have kind of tons of detail, right? Okay, so let's draw this guy, and we're gonna put kind of this little skirt on this guy.
I'll keep you company, Clayton. I got you, man.
Oh, that's okay. Corey's banished now from the channel. No, Billy's replacing him.
Okay, so you have this little knight guy, right? And he has like tons of details and stuff. So the way this works, I'm just gonna transform this. The way this works, and the way I always teach this to my students, is pretty much if you have kind of a contrast, it's pretty much how you lead the eye through opposing values. Like you will have the values you will be looking for will be black and white. If you put something on a white background, if there's a white background and you put a point, your eye will be leading to the highest contrast in this scene. So in this case, it's this black dot. So it doesn't matter that the majority of this is white. We will focus on the highest contrast. And on the contrary, when you have a black black canvas, is you put maybe a little a little dot here, your eye will go straight to it. So the way I put this, it's that let's make this little square. So
some people are asking if this is pre-recorded. No, it's live. It's live. Look,
yeah,
see your comments popping up.
Yeah.
That proves that it's live.
let me put another right here. Yeah, so the thing is that your highest values are black versus white. These are the ones you should be looking out for. So whenever you have a black background with a white with something white on it, you will have the 100% of contrast. But what happens if we have this kind of gray versus this a little bit darker, kind of grayish white? So the thing is that contrast, it's just gonna be kind of lesser. Kind of what I always say is that the closer you get, you lose contrast. So if we have like 100% here, you will have kind of like an 80% of contrast right here. And if you go, if you keep doing this, if you keep getting closer, kind of like this, now we have kind of maybe 30% contrast. You will barely see, your eye won't go to it as much as it goes to the 100% contrast. So the closer you get, like this, you can see this right here. It's actually a lighter color. The less contrast you have, the closer your colors are here, the less your eye will notice. So we cool on that? Okay.
That's awesome, man.
Let's go with this guy. So I have a white background here. So this is 100%. So I'm not even gonna scale this guy. I'm just gonna put it in the same. I'm just gonna put it in the same kind of floor line, kind of in the same level. We're gonna put some of these guys here, but we're gonna, we're gonna put them. Let's gonna put them farther and farther away in this composition. So this is 100%. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna lock the layer here, and I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be putting a lighter color, so the contrast is a little less each guy. So every time I do this, the guys are getting farther away, and they are on the same they are in the same level, in the same kind of floor. So what I do is that I actually always just draw in black in the different lines and in different layers. And whenever I have something, whenever I have like, I can maybe
Can we go back to that really quick, Jose?
Yeah.
Is there any way you can go back? I want to show everybody. You can see that there's a line at the bottom of their feet, obviously, because they're all on the same level. But if that line wasn't there, everybody that's watching, I want you to see that just by virtue of the contrast, it starts to form a secondary line in your mind's eye that's not actually there. It looks like there's almost like a 20-30 degree angle where they're actually receding back into perspective when they're not receding back into perspective at all. They're all the same size. They're all on the same level. But the fact that there's less contrast on that last one, there's just less for our eye to dance around in on that last one. So it feels like it's smaller. It feels like it's receding. That other one that has that higher level of contrast, like Jose was talking about, just wants to come towards us, no matter what its size is, no matter what its detail level is, just by virtue of the contrast, it's coming at us. And like you can see it, like even if you take off that bottom line, Jose, can you go back one more step? or just erase that bottom line?
I'm just gonna erase it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they look like they're tilting back almost. It's all contrast. Sorry to interrupt you, Jose. Keep going.
No. It's cool. So this you can see they all have the same level of detail, but you can push them further away if you remove some contrast. So that's why I always color some lines, so I can remove this kind of contrast. I'm always looking for my values. When I do some layers, when I was saying like, let's I'm gonna put kind of this. Okay, I'm gonna do some 4 compositions right now. Let's say like I'm going to have, just squares right now. I'm gonna put. I have some squares. Okay, so the thing is, I'm gonna. If I know something about values, I can give different levels of, of importance to each and every single one of these objects. So let's say that on this first one, I want to make this little guy the most important. It's the smallest one of the bunch, but I want to make it the more important. And on the second one, I want to make this one the more important. And the third one, maybe this one will be the more important. And the fourth one, this will be the more important. Okay. So they all look the same. They all look exactly the same. So the thing I'm going to do right now, I'm just gonna remove some values, remove some contrast. Sorry. So first of all, I'm gonna put the lowest contrast I can into this composition. But after that, I'm going to be just making the contrast kind of more. Having more contrast on this, and the more contrast it gets, the more you can see the depth, until I want you to focus on this one. So if you see it from the distance, you can barely see the first guy right here, and I'm looking at this as if they were characters. So in the same, man. It's the second one. I'm gonna change the values. Like let's say this is kind of closer. Well, let's put this guy here. These values. This will be a little have a little more contrast, but this guy right here is gonna take the price. So I'm making him more important, and this guy over here, just gonna fade out in the background. So I can actually pick and choose on which of the characters I'm drawing. I can who I want to be the main focus. So I can do this with all of these just by changing values and just getting just thinking which figure it's the most important, and the most important figure I will get that will get the more values.
Okay, cool. So is your lighting source determined by the hierarchy of value that you're establishing here?
Oh no, you can actually do. You can put the lighting here to let's put the same lighting source to all of these guys, and it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can.
I'm that man. Sorry.
That's amazing.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean you can put some. Let's put a soft light. Well, okay, I actually like this, but you can actually put some multiply, and the multiply I'm going to do. It's it's gonna be the same for everyone, but since you have already the value set, it won't matter. I mean, you can put all the same stuff. Kind of, the light is coming from up here, so you can actually put some.
Cool. Man, that is just mind-boggling.
Yeah, you can play around with this. And there's another tip for this one. So if you actually sharp lines are kind of you can see this. There's a sharp line here. We don't have any gradients or stuff. You can actually remove all importance from the highest value if you kind of mess with the edges. So these have sharp edges, but if you ever go into filter and I don't know, blur and Gaussian blur, I'm just gonna put some Gaussian blur here. I'm just gonna remove the focus. So even though this has the the greatest the more contrast, the edges kind of if they are not sharp enough, you could take away some importance from this one, and maybe I just want to add more contrast, kind of the shadows around here.
Right.
And even though this is the the best the higher contrast, this will win because the edges are sharper and the contrast on the sharp lines are actually this will be I will say that this will be let's put it, well, it's around here and it's around here, so the contrast, it's gonna be somewhere around like 40%, and it's still bigger than the highest contrast with with these muddy kind of softer edges. So you can always take away some importance of something that has a lot of contrast just by adding a blur or something. So if I ever messed up, if I ever have kind of this let's say I have this kind of figure right here, this guy, if I have kind of these characters coming here and they are super sharp and they are taking away all the interest from my main figure, if I want to take away some importance from them, I'm just gonna go to filter, just blur, Gaussian blur. I'm just gonna add more.
Cool.
And you can take away man. You can take away the importance for this, guys.
I'm so glad you're bringing these principles into the comic book field, because, like I said, working as a concept artist is a lot how I work, and coming over here to CG, like a lot of people would see my workflow and they're like, "You work really weird." I'm like, "I do," but yeah, this is all great stuff, man.
Yeah. So just as a general rule, to kind of consolidate what it is, the amazing magic that you've just shown us. Basically, as a rule of thumb, when you're laying out a character in a panel, if you want that character to be the main point of focus, it should be the main point of contrast, but also have the highest amount of contrast within it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
You can see it always in my drawings. Like I do this very cheap trick. Let me show you. It's super cheap.
So that character should not only be like, the darkest or the lightest character, depending on what color the background is, but it should also have the lightest and darkest shadows and highlights, essentially. Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It should, exactly how you said it. It should have the whitest whites and the blackest blacks in that focus point. No matter what the lighting source is, no matter how deep it is in there, that focus point should have the highest amount of contrast.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for some files. I'm just going to show my Cyberfrog piece. Not the new one, but the old one. The first one I made, but I'm just trying to look for it.
That's great. So you're actually doing some work for All Caps Comics, right?
Yeah. As of right now, some Cyberfrog book.
Nice.
It's gonna be for Cyberfrog 3 for the campaign. I'm gonna do kind of this manga book about Lily. I'm not doing pages right now, but I'm doing some concepts for Ethan so he can work his, work around a little bit. So you can see on here, on this one, you can see all the stuff I told you. like you can see, if you zoom out, you will go straight to Lily's eye, because it's black versus white. So that's the highest contrast, and it doesn't matter how further away I go. You will always, your eye will always go to that point. And the red, it's contrast, it's color contrast. We have black and white, and obviously red will pop a lot, right?
Yeah.
But
That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and you can see it all the way here. Like you can see black here, and you can see some, each level of depth. The blacks are just fading. So this
I
is
love
just
that.
fading, and fading. So I'm just lowering the contrast each layer, each level of depth, and I use this kind of cheap trick where it is
Yeah.
so many layers, man.
Yeah, I got you. That's cool.
Okay, this is the one. I usually do a gradient, kind of this gradient to separate whenever, if you put it side by side, you cannot see kind of the depth. I mean, you can see some of it, but it's not very. I think it doesn't work really well until I put this little gradient. You can see how it push farther away and makes the ideas here looks kind of clearer. So if I didn't have this gradient, you will lose kind of this big idea that it's going on here. So I will try to put some contrast here. I'm going to duplicate the layer so you could see it a bit more. You can see whenever when I put, I'm putting some whites against these grays, so I have this bigger contrast, right? So I have bigger contrast, and if I didn't have this, I will be competing this gray versus this other gray, so the contrast is way lower. You can see, can you see that? So that's what I usually cheat and use these gradients. So this gray here is now competing against this white, and the figure just pops,
Yeah, that's great. And also it's worth pointing out to everyone watching that the what's the girl's name again?
Lily.
So Lily, the shadows and the highlights on Lily, or maybe not the highlights, but definitely the shadows are much darker than any of the shadows that you see on the wasps in the background. And so, there's that, even though they might be dealing with similar levels of contrast, the tones within that contrast are much lower than the things in the foreground, right?
Yep. You can see on the foreground, if you put the kind of the shadows against the lights, I always do this. I always put here so you can see when I do the color pick, you can see how far apart they are. So the contrast is super low. You can it's maybe like a 10% contrast. So it doesn't matter that all this stuff is on the foreground. It doesn't really matter because the contrast is so low that you could barely notice. So it just smooths out, and this is on the foreground, but you could not make much of it. It doesn't bring your eye to it. So but instead this contrast right here, like this, and I don't know, black versus white, so you can see the contrast. And even here you can see the contrast right here against this is bigger contrast.
It's yet another optical illusion that the value's playing with on your brain. It's, even though it may look like the highlights are actually lighter on the wasps going into the background, it's not. The fact that the blackest blacks are still on Lily and the whitest whites are still on Lily, even though it may only be smaller parts. If you just like, we can't really see your tools right now, Jose, but if you were to go check like the light gray against the dark gray on the farther characters, the distance between that contrast is really low. Like, even though it may seem in a lighter plane, the distance between those two values is really small, so it's not going to compete. The fact that lilies are so far apart, like that white is so white and that black is so black, is just going to push it so far forward.
Can you see Can you see this value? This one here against this one here. Can you see that it only moves like a little bit? They are so further away that each time the contrast is, it just starts to get lost way behind. But I always start this, everything on black and white. And once I have all my layers, once I have like everything set up, like kind of like this, in this one, you can see it right here. I'm using it to separate some of my my usual my panels. So I just have middle ground, background, and foreground. But I usually do it like this. You can see it here, but let's change some values here. So okay.
Just a quick question. So how do you form the relationship between color and value then? Because you might have Lily in a scene where maybe she's not the point of focus, but her red coat is still going to draw attention to it. And it's also going to be a darker tone than certain other colors, because red, at least from what I've seen, is actually quite a dark value. So how do you figure that one out when you want to push her back a little bit more into the background, or you want another character, say Cyberfrog, to be the center of attention instead, who has his green skin and his white belly, they're probably lighter values in terms of their color than Lily's red jacket.
I usually work a lot with color. Let me bring just another one commission I did for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, cool.
This is the JPEG. Sorry about that. I'm gonna need to find the. I'm gonna try to find. Oh, I don't really have it, but it's all values, man. If I go with if I put this in grayscale, flatten. Okay, discard. You can still see everything. Like, this girl has kind of, her contrast aren't all that big. Just on the lightsaber, and these guys around here, like, they are kind of. You can see the contrast here. The kind of like the lighter tones against these tones, so you can read a clear silhouette for this one. And I did the kind of gradient trick right here. So because all these guys in this same level of depth are kind of I flat them like normally I would, and then right afterwards I just start adding these little tricks, just like separating planes, and just playing around. Since I have everything in layers, sometimes I go like, I will do this, super like this on the foreground. I'm just gonna just make it darker and remove most contrast, so this bunny can pop up. And here these guys, they have like this the higher contrast, but
they're blurred.
But the edges are blurred, so you don't really notice them against this girl who is way in the foreground. So I'm just playing with all this stuff. I'm telling you, I have some highlights to get more contrast, to get your eye going here, going down, seeing everything, seeing the silhouette here, have a clear silhouette here, so you can know exactly what is going on. So I'm just playing with silhouettes. If you go back, you can see how you might be seeing shapes. That's the way I'm trying to work. Like I just this one was pretty much like this shape, a triangle shape, and
Can you bring back in the colors after you do the shape thing, Jose? I want to point out something and please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But like when what Clayton was just asking about, when you have multiple characters in a scene and they're all like maybe brightly colored characters and you want to show depth with them, how do you do that once you go to color, once you've considered your value layers? The second thing after value then would be to consider saturation. If you look at that, can you just go back really quick, Jose, to the colored picture?
Yeah.
If you look at that picture, the characters that are all around the campfire have not only the most value range to make them come forward, but they also have the most of the color saturation is done towards that the focus. So you could have Cyberfrog say, like, in the background of a picture, and still all of his colors would read, as long as you desaturated the greens. The whites would actually turn in, so that you could move it closer to the green. You would make what was white on Cyberfrog like a light gray to move it into that light green. So then the saturation level compounded with the value level is going to push back that stuff, so that the hottest red is going to be the closest one. But then you could still have something that's very much a completely red character, but if it's a desaturated red, it's going to fall right back.
I can show you that real quick if you want, with blocks of colors.
Yeah.
Would you like to
That'd
get more nuggets of knowledge, man?
I hope I'm doing okay too. I don't want to. This is your show, Clayton. I don't want to step on your toes, man.
Oh no, that's awesome, man. I love this. I love that you're asking these questions. This is mind food for me.
Yeah, man, I really love to drop all these kind of knowledge. It's what I do. I've been a teacher for quite a while, so if you ever guys are interested in this, I was thinking of maybe doing a CG group. Maybe charging for some classes and giving you all my courses, kind of trying to teach all these classes with a live group. I don't know, maybe 2 times a week. But I'm just figuring this out. If some of you guys want to learn from the beginning, if I have enough people interest, I might start these little art courses I have. So so that will be something for the future if you guys are interested. And I will go from beginning to end, like starting with the fundamentals, then go with perspective, then composition, then comics, then storyboard, then animation, going that way, kind of step by step.
We also have double the people here right now than we did at the start of the stream, so I'm going to go ahead and shill one more time. Right now, if you can go to the YouTube's Jose Garcia artwork, you can see Jose Garcia Monday nights, 11 Pacific, or I'm sorry, 11 or 12 Pacific at night to 1, where he gives CG art tips, and then Monday through Friday from 12 in the afternoon till 3 in the afternoon Pacific time, Jose will be dual streaming on YouTube at Jose Garcia Art and Twitch, where he will draw live for 3 hours a day. So if you'd like to see any more of Jose's process or how he works, you can catch him basically 6 times a week, Monday through Friday, on those 2 platforms. That's Jose Garcia Artwork on YouTube and on Twitch. And please go check out his book currently, Lumina Vhox, which is currently on Indiegogo. It's 180 pages of Eldritch space horror. There are also 3 add-on books with a total of over 650 pages of great Jose Garcia artwork that you can get right now only on Indiegogo.
I need to pay you, Billy. I definitely need to pay you. Man, that was real good.
Yeah, it was really nice, Billy. You're a pro, man. I might need to hire you too. Just do that, but with KOZOR.
Anyway. Corey will like to hire you, man.
Absolutely.
I was actually shilling the shit out of KOZOR last night. I was drawing on Finatra stream, and I was actually shilling your book for about an hour or 2. So
Thank you, man. There you go. Paycheck in the mail.
So actually,
I would recommend if Jose starts his classes up again, the proof is in the pudding. I don't know about you guys, but I just learned a ton throughout this stream. Like, so many different things clicked for me. So, with that said, if Jose starts his classes up again, I can only imagine what kind of value you're going to get out of those. If you were like me and you learned a ton from just this stream, then an actual class, a course that you're paying him to enroll in live with him, with him teaching you, that is, not him enrolling in his own course. See, I'm not as good at this as Billy is, but seriously, yeah, it'd definitely be worth your while to sign up to that. And I think in the past they haven't been that expensive either, from what I remember Jose talking about before. Yeah. But I can't really speak on that. That's something he'll have to tell you about.
I'm gonna try to price it to something affordable for people here in CG, for upcoming artists. I just need to talk maybe with you, Clayton, about how well, I know these classes for sure, that when I've given these classes at universities, the courses are always like $1,000, but I know that's really expensive. So I want to be fair with these guys, and bring this. I'm not a very good entertainer, so but the thing I can do is teach and draw. So those both things.
Gold, man. Yeah.
I can bring
honestly, man, I paid to do a university course, and they didn't teach us anything about what you taught us about today. So I'll tell you that. And $1,000, it sounds like a crazy amount, but honestly, in all realistic terms, it's much more expensive to actually enroll in a course that's going to take you years to complete, and you'll only learn a fraction of what you'd learn sitting down with Jose in a couple hours. I seriously found that to be so valuable. But yeah, man, we can talk about it. I don't really know either, honestly. People have their own different thoughts on it, but
I think Jose's fishing for an assistant teacher.
Yeah, man.
Dude, it's something we thought about with How to Draw Comics, actually. Just haven't had the time to set it up properly, but now that the site is as big as it is, and it's getting the level of traffic that it's getting, it's probably time actually to open up some live classes and to get some specialty teachers on board like Jose to run a few of them once in a while. I reckon that's definitely a brilliant idea, especially when you've got the level of interactivity that we're able to achieve with platforms like StreamYard. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, man. And I wanted to, all my courses, I always when I finish, I always record all of them, and after the class finish, I actually edit all of the subjects in different little videos. So you can see, like, if you only want to see the value stuff, I just cut that part and you can see it on a video, maybe 15 minutes. So you don't have to look around on the class to know where the hell was that subject that really interested you. So I have all my courses in Spanish right now, but I have them, everything edited into small videos. And I I'm doing this. One of my dreams is doing this the kind of my way, the most specific I can be and friendly to teach newer artists to get past by all of these, all these hard things to understand. I wanted to make it as digestible as possible. So I'm doing this kind of ladder, kind of teaching, kind of like steps, like you learn something and you will practice it for a bit, and then you will go up, and then you just gotta be flatted. You're gonna stack for a little bit until you catch up with what you already learned, and go step by step until you get all the way to doing animation, which has everything, has movement, has anatomy, has all everything is done in animation. And so I'm planning on doing that if you guys are interested. I just didn't have any US audience or English speaking audience before. All my gigs, all my classes were different studios like DreamWorks hired me to do this little course here on Canada, this little course here on France. So I actually I was reliant upon someone, because when I posted this on my social networks, I didn't even have like 3 likes. Like people say like, oh yeah, this guy. I wasn't very active and didn't really have a kind of a big following. So now on CG, I can reach more people and actually be of service to the community, man.
Hell yeah, that's fantastic news, man. Absolutely. I know that there's a lot of artists within CG that would, and within How to Draw Comics, man. I mean, that's what makes up this community, is people who want to level up their skill set, who would value for everything that you've got to offer there as far as your teaching goes. So awesome, man. When you decide to start it up, definitely let us know, and we'll get you back on here, and you can tell us what you've got on offer.
For sure, man.
All right, so let's go through this, and this will probably be the last little nugget, the last little gem of insight that we'll take a look at today before we wrap up the show.
Oh, it's been super fun. I've been time's flying by, man.
Yeah, no, it always does, man. When you're here, it always does.
Okay, so let's go with colors. So the thing is, you were saying that what if I have like very bright colors, different colors, and I want them to push them farther, or or make one pop out more. So the thing is, I have these 4 red colors right here, but if you do the color pick here and click on your values here, the closer it is to the black and white, the less the least saturation it has, and the more it's to the right, the more saturation it has. But it actually goes kind of in this diagonal way. So if you go to this sector right here, if you cut it in half, kind of from the white up to the black here, if you do an imaginary line, all the stuff on this sector will have less contrast, and all this stuff in this other sector will have more contrast. I mean more saturation. Sorry about that.
Got you. All good.
So that's saturation. From up to down, it's values. So this is values, black versus white, and it doesn't matter where you are with your colors. So if you are right here against this one, that's gonna be your 100% with this red, right? So we have all these kind of weird sectors. So the thing is, and what Billy said, is that pretty much saturation plays a lot into what's the main focus right here. And you can see if I go here and I want to make this non-important, I will take away the saturation. I'm just gonna,
cool.
I'm just gonna remove some saturation. And if I want something to really pop up, I'm just gonna, be more saturated. So we can play with
that block on the left for everybody watching may look very gray, but the minute you put that quote unquote gray box in front of any other color, it's going to read hot red, even though it may look gray. It's another illusion of the eye.
Let's put a little green with super low. This is a green, may look grayish, but if you put it, it has super low saturation. So when you put them together, they actually look kind of like red versus green. But if I remove this, it's gonna look grayish against this blue background. And color, it's super cool. You can do this, or if you want to, I don't know, put some ambient light, you can push it further behind. I can choose the background color, and I'm just gonna infect this color around here with soft light. So I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna be pushing this. I'm sorry. Let me do that again. I was in the wrong layer. Sorry about that. Okay, here, and let's put a soft light. So when I'm infecting this color, I'm just pushing it to way up in the background. So the more I infect it with this color, with this blue background color, the further away it goes.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So if you can have your flats in one layer, you can put all your, let's say this guy, I will put kind of this on multiply. Let's put some shadows. So I'm gonna put some shadows in here, and it has its own contrast. Let's say this is a building. And on another layer, I'm gonna put some with maybe overlay. Let's do a little some lights. So you can have your flats, your shadows, and your lights. But if on top of that you put all this, if you infect it with this background color, you will push it further away. Without even being worried about your shadows or your lights. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. I feel like my brain is going to be processing this for like the next few days. It's taken in so much information today, and I really appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming here to take the time to explain these really difficult concepts to us and how they all work, how to actually apply them within your art. It's invaluable, absolutely invaluable.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
And good. Well,
for shillings for that, that was incredible. I need to learn to do that, man. Those little segues and yeah.
Dude, I don't know what happened to the chat during this stream, but mate, Darren Wagoner, he I don't know what's happening with him today. He's going on about respecting women. Simpin is king. Simpin is pimpin'. He's got multiple dates with the ladies due to look, women get hot for manga. That's why he's been on 2 dates. He's on Plenty of Fish. That's what he's telling people. I don't know what he's on. But he's funny, and I wish he was here. I wish he was here right now. I do. No, actually, maybe not for this stream, but definitely for the next Barton Bros After Dark stream. I think that'd be really cool. But man, this chat, I don't even know who's left. If it died, there's lots of people watching though, which is fantastic. So, there's been a lot of brains filled with wonderful, wonderful information, Jose.
Well, I hope I did my best to explain this, but I don't know. This wouldn't be possible if Clayton didn't invite me. So
no worries. You're very welcome, man. I really do appreciate it. And look, we definitely got to get you on here again for sure, along with Billy as well, because he's like your spokesman.
Yeah, man.
Billy, thank you for being on here as well.
Thank you.
Really
Thank you for having me. I knew I was, like I said, I knew I was going to have a lot to say today, and I appreciate you actually having me on, so I didn't have to shout it from the chat.
Oh, no, all good, man. All good. You're very, very welcome.
Yep.
And to the chat, to those watching right now, thank you so much for tuning in yet again. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll be back later in the week, probably tomorrow, likely on the Barton Bros Studios YouTube channel with some more interesting live streams. This week, I'd really, really love to do the Guts character analysis from Berserk.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
With Michael Oden. I think that'd be really awesome. I'm going to talk to him or hit him up today and see if we can get that happening. And also we'll do an After Dark stream on the Barton Bros channel. Probably
make sure you hit that like, subscribe to this channel. Go check out KOZOR Descent into Madness on Indiegogo, Lumina Vhox also on Indiegogo, and possibly take a look at Starlight Cats also on Indiegogo. 3 great projects by 3 great creators that you may want to take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Darren Wagoner, Clayton, I don't care because I'm such a good person, but you're welcome for protecting you. Man, what did you protect me from, mate? Anyway. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, keep on creating. Take care of yourself. We'll see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.